Happy Saturday, everyone. Happy 21.2. We have a repeat coming at you. That was 17.1 back in 2017. It's an oldie and a goodie. It's a tough little work set. So we're going to break it down for you, give you some fun options, and see where it takes you. So what we have for you guys: plank to down dog for 3, forearm plank to dolphin for 3, plank to bear squat for 3, prone shoulder raise for 6 alternating, and then single leg RDL for 3 aside at a nice slow tempo. One round, we're going to take that down nice and steady, and then we're going to take down a little bit of work here with our dumbbell Sumo Deadlift high pull into a 3 per side, dumbbell snatch for 6 alternating, step up, or a couple different options with a box jump, or I'll have some different options there for you. If you don't have something you're comfortable stepping on, I'll have some options on the workout description for you. You'll hit that up for 2 to 3 rounds to get yourself set up, squared away, make sure life is good, and then you're going to hit 21.2. 21.2 is a dumbbell snatch for 10 alternating reps, burpee box jump for 15, dumbbell snatch for 20 alternating reps, burpee box jump for 15, dumbbell snatch for 30 alternating reps, burpee box jump for 15, 40 snatches, 15 jumps, 50 snatches, 15 burpee box jumps, done. Or 20 minutes coming. So you have a 20-minute cap to get as deep into this workout as you can, or we finish it and then we're done with a nice time to write down in our journal. So there's going to be a little bit of options there for you guys in terms of our work set today. Stay tuned for those at the bottom of the workout description. Let's get you warmed up and ready to take on this lovely beast of a workout. All right, let's warm our bodies up a little bit. Let's take the arms up big and tall up overhead. We're going to shrug those shoulders. We're going to come back down with the shoulders, scratch your back, and then reach just a little bit through the side. We'll take the arms back up, shrug, come back down, scratch your back, and then reach through the elbow. We'll come back up, big stretch. We'll take the arms out to the T. We'll turn them in, turn them out, turn them in, turn them out, turn them in, and turn them out. We'll take the arms all the way up. We're going to forward fold, taking it down to the floor. Walk up those shins. We'll come down, framing a foot. We'll step it into our lizard. And then we're going to take that inside hand all the way up and then rotate forearm to the floor. We'll come back up, bend at the 90. We're going to reach straight ahead, pull back, straight ahead, pull back, straight ahead, pull back, reach up, and rotate forearm to the floor. Come back up, plant that hand. We'll step back into our down dog. Setting those shoulders, setting those hips. Come back into that plank as we step that other foot up. Nice lizard position. We'll take the inside hand all the way. Rotate, forearm to the floor. Come back up. Bend at the 90. Reach straight ahead. Pull back. Straight ahead. Pull back. Straight ahead. Pull back. Reach up. Rotate, forearm to the floor. Back up, big reach. Plant that hand, step her back into that down dog, reaching those hips. Come back into that plank. Tiptoe those feet up. Rolling ourselves all the way up, big stretch. Good, big reach. Big reach. Come on down with those hands. Let's rock and roll. All right, now we've got a little bit of heat in the body. If you'd like to pause the video and take down a little bit more gentle warm up for yourself, maybe some cat-cow curls, some thread the needle, scat push-ups, not a bad idea either. Just to warm up those shoulders a little bit more, please do so. Pause the video, take that down. But if you're ready, come along with me. We're going to talk about our first phase of warm-up. All right, our first phase of warm-up is going to kickstart off with our plank to down dog. We're going to work with 3 to 5 reps here for you guys. We're going to get ourselves set up first in our plank. So we're just really using this as a chance to open up those shoulders and our lats. So we set that good plank, pressing through the shoulders and pulling in the ribs. We're going to maintain that good strong shoulder angle as we come into our down dog. Nice set position. If you'd like to press and walk a heel out a couple times in between these reps, you can, just because of all the jumping. But again, setting that good plank, pressing through those shoulders, and then pulling those hips back, soft knees and all. So just making sure we're nice and strong through that nice shoulder position as we flow back and forth. I like to give myself a couple seconds in each position just to make sure that I can feel that set position, I can feel my hips and calves just to make sure, check in on some spots in my body. So don't worry about rushing back and forth and getting these reps done quickly. Just take your time and really feel each position. Our next phase is going to continue warming up and stretching those parts of our body out with our forearm plank to dolphin. So officially I'm going to start down, getting my arms set in that forearm plank with my elbow under my shoulder. I step back, establishing that good strong forearm plank. I'm pressing through the shoulders, getting those armpits kind of set and ready. And then I'm going to pull my hips back, and I'm going to walk my feet in a little closer so I can get into that set position to really open up those shoulders and try and press that chest back towards my thighs. I allow my knees to soften, my hips to come up, and allow those ankles to soften as well. I'll come back into that plank position, nice and set. And then once I'm ready, I'll pull back in, walk my feet back in, soften my knees so I can get that good engagement to the upper back, and then come back into my plank. So again, like the plank to down dog, we're working on opening up the tricep and the lat, just really work on opening up that upper back and shoulder as we kind of move back and forth from those two positions. Our next exercise, we're going to continue that kind of path and go plank to bear squat. So we're really touching on all these different positions so we can really fire up the shoulders and get things ready. With the plank to bear squat though, we're going to set up in our plank like our down dog. We're going to get our feet apart, kind of hip width or squat stance. I'm going to pull the ribs, press the shoulders up, and I'm going to pull my hips straight back into that nice position where my hips go towards my ankles. I'm keeping it low, pressing down in my hands, setting those shoulders good and strong. So I'm showing my armpits off to the floor the whole time so I maintain this neck position. I'm not here crunching up my neck. I have space and I'm setting that position good and strong. Equal weight between thumb and pinky. Really pressing down the whole time so I can stay really stable. Just like we would be if we were in an extended plank position, but we're just sitting back a little bit more. After our plank to bear squat, we're going to move into our prone shoulder raise. So we're going to go down into the floor position. Palms are down, toes together. I'm going to squeeze them and press them into the floor. I'm going to squeeze my glutes and pull my ribs in. Press my armpits down, my hands down. I establish that good hollow position. I'm going to maintain this as I lift my arm up, keeping my armpit pointing towards the floor. Lower down, set that shoulder down. Other side, nice and strong. Set that down and then continue. So I want to make sure before I move to the next side that I'm re-engaging that arm that I just lifted, setting that position so that when I lift, I'm stable and strong through that hollow and through that arm. So don't rush these reps, and if you need to take a moment in between these 6 reps to reset the core position, reset the body, please do so. Give yourself a moment and then reset so you can hit that next set really well. Last but not least, we stand up. We're going to prime up our hamstrings a bit. We're going to work on our single leg RDL. So what we're going to do is we're going to get set up in this nice set position. I'm going to squeeze my glutes. I'm going to take one toe back, so it's my kickstand. Hips are square, glutes are tight, nice and set. And I'm going to pull my hips back into that nice hinge position. So I'm taking my hands with the dumbbell down to the knee or just below, and I'm going to stand and squeeze. But I'm really focusing on staying square, hinging at the hip crease, and letting the pull back of my hip let my body come down into that hinge. I'm going to really take the time to kind of prime up those hamstrings because we're going to use them a lot today as we work through our snatches. You're going to look at 3 per side. And then personally, I would like to add in a little Sumo Deadlift work at the end of this work set so we get ourselves set up, dumbbell in between our feet. And just to kind of bring the hips and bring the hamstrings together after the 2 sides of our RDLs, we're going to work through that good hinge, lower down, getting set, and then standing nice and tall in that Sumo Deadlift. Kind of mimic the snatch a little bit more. So we are going to drop the hips just a bit more and keep that chest a little higher. So we are going to think a little bit more kind of like a squat position in this one, just to mimic the snatch a bit. And that's also going to give us a good indicator on where I'm going to be comfortable taking that snatch from be it the floor or somewhere below the knee. It's going to allow me to know my edge in terms of a safe and efficient place to start from. Quick little recap, we have a plank to down dog for 3 to 5 reps, forearm plank to down to Dolphin for 3 to 5, that was really hard to say, plank to bear squat 3 to 5 reps, and a prone shoulder raise for 6 alternating reps, nice and slow, breaking it down if you need to. Finishing off with a single leg RDL, 3 to 5 per side, and then a dumbbell sumo deadlift for 3 to 5 as well, with a little tempo added in there. 1 to 2 rounds, maybe even 2 to 3. Give yourself the time to get yourself primed and ready to go before moving into that nice work set where we're going to practice the dumbbell snatch just a little bit more to hone in that skill. Now that we've warmed the body up a little bit, we're getting those hamstrings, our body, our core, our shoulder ready to go. We're going to bust out and start working on that dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull into snatch. So as a quick recap, we're always going to be stemming from that sumo deadlift that we started with in the previous section of our warm-up. The only kicker is, as I come up and push through those legs and hips, that dumbbell is going to come up and I'm going to guide it with my arm into that high and outside position. So you notice my chest is open and my shoulder is set. I'm not internally coming up the front. I'm setting nice and open, nice and tall. So we want to make sure that we're good to go there and we're really focusing on that nice high and outside position. The other side of things, we're not pulling with the arm too much. We're using the legs and the hips to lift the dumbbell, and then that arm just guides the dumbbell to its location at the shoulder. So I'm going to turn to the side. I'm going to do a couple reps to the side, and then I'll show you one from the front. So we get set up in that same sumo deadlift position, that good hinge. I'm going to think push through my legs. So I'm going to push through the legs, push, and I get that little lift and guide of the arm. I come back down, I push, and I allow my legs and hips to do the work first so that the arm can finish. So I push, and I let that lift and the momentum carry and continue on in that lift through the arm. From there, I'm going to do both sides, working on that nice lift, and then I'm going to move into the dumbbell snatch for 6 alternating reps. Now the dumbbell snatch isn't much different than that, except I'm going to pull underneath of it into an overhead position. So I'm going to do a couple from the front. I want you to see that fluidity and that smooth transition from the sumo deadlift to the high pull to the snatch. So I get set up in the same position, I push, and I pull myself under. I come down, and I switch hands. Same idea, I come down, I push, I transition through that sumo deadlift high pull, and I pull myself into that nice little power squat. One more time, I come down, pushing through the legs, I pull myself into that power position, and I bring the dumbbell back to the shoulder. Now, using that idea, that drive, the arm doesn't really do a lot until, boom, we're locked out overhead. So a nice goal, as soon as those feet land, that arm is locked out strong and locked out overhead. So please make sure we're focusing on that good strong lockout and that timing of foot and hand landing almost simultaneously. Now our next setup, we're going to work as a step up or a couple different options for the step up and box jump. After those sumo deadlift high pulls and those dumbbell snatches, I'm going to move into a couple steps. So I want to get used to the height of my step up. I want to get used to the height of the apparatus that I'm stepping on before I start jumping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself 4 good step ups, working on that good press of the leg, getting used to the height, opening up the hips and ankles, and working through that good drive. Once I'm done that step up, if I'm comfortable, I'll move into a jump. Right? With the jump, we get those hips going back, those knees going out a bit, and then I explode up. I stand tall, and I step down. Hop, stand, and then step down. So I'm really working on getting that good lift, that good explosive lift through those legs, standing at the top, stepping down. Now if you don't have a step or a box that you're comfortable jumping on or stepping on, I will have some different options. One of which, for that step up in the warm up, being a nice smooth dumbbell march, so working on that dumbbell march, or a couple movements we've worked on already, working on that back lunge to to high knee. So taking those movements we've worked on earlier in the week and using those to prime up our legs and get ourselves ready for our steps. In place of our box jump, we also have a couple options I'll have there available for you, one of which being that jump squat, which we can also do an air squat, a non-jumping jump squat, and the full jump squat. Just getting a little bit more explosive out of those legs. When it comes to the workout, if you're not comfortable jumping or stepping or don't have anything, there'll be a ton of options there for you guys in terms of our work set. We'll talk about that momentarily. Pause the video, take down that skill work, that dumbbell sumo deadlift high pull for 3 aside into our alternating dumbbell snatch, and then step up to box jump or one of those other options to jump squat or air squat to work on waking up those legs and getting that heart rate up. We're going to take down that 2 to 3 rounds, just kind of working on some skills, and then we're going to move into a little practice round to hone those skills and rock the work set. So pause the video, take that down, come back and join me for some options for the workout. All right. For the workout, we have 2 movements. We have 2 movements which are, one we covered quite heavily in the work set, which is our dumbbell snatch. So we're going to work on an alternating dumbbell snatch. So all that means is that you're going to start from the floor position that you feel comfortable with. You're going to take that dumbbell all the way up through that range of motion, and we're just going to alternate hands back and forth, moving through that total count rep scheme. So the first round is 10 alternating reps, so 10 back and forth total count. Then we're going to move into our burpee box jump. So we have a couple options for our burpee box jump. Our burpee box jump, again, is just a combination movement of burpee and box jump, or burpee and step up, or squat thrust and step up. So I'm going to go through the options for the burpee themselves first, and then we'll join the 2. The burpee, we always have that full-on burpee option with the jump back, lower, and finish. Or we can do the step back, lower, step up, or any combination of those 2 things in terms of that movement. Just making sure that we're focusing on keeping our core tight, our shoulders set, and that elbow stacked over the wrist. The other option is our squat thrust, so it's our non-push-up burpee. We come down with our hands are going to stay under the shoulders, pop into our plank, pop our feet in, take it down, or hands staying under the shoulders and step back, step in, or any combination of those 2 in our movement set. Now the burpee box jump is a little different movement set, so just remember when I demonstrate it right now, the 2 of them, you can substitute that for any burpee or any squat thrust variation. So I'm going to come back to my box, I get myself a little bit away from the box, I lower into my burpee, I step a little closer, I jump up, and I come back down. That would be 1 rep. Or I can do a burpee, I can walk up, and I can do a step up. That would be another rep in terms of that movement set. So you can play around with that any way you'd like, as if you have an apparatus for jumping or stepping. The key thing here is focus on the first piece, then focus on the second piece. Don't think about the box or the step up while you're doing the burpee, and for sure, don't think about the burpee while you're doing the jump or the step. We need to stay focused on the task at hand. This is a 2-piece movement. Focus on piece 1 first, piece 2 second. Now another option for you guys that they have on the CrossFit main page for the game site is a burpee broad jump. So if you'd like to, you can rock a burpee broad jump. So we have our space. I come down, get my burpee or squat thrust, stand, and then do a broad jump. Then I would turn around and I would do another one. So I can work that squat thrust or burpee style as well, working a broad jump. These are no joke, so these things get tiring. Again, it's a 2-part movement. I want you to focus on each individual segment in its individual parts, not thinking about the broad jump before the burpee's done, or vice versa. Think about the piece you have to take down, do it well, execute the jump, landing softly, doing it well. The last variation of this workout is a burpee, so just doing a burpee. So if you don't have anything to step up on, or if you don't have enough space to jump around for a broad jump, just rock a burpee, and it's gonna give you definitely no disappointment in this work set. So again, as a quick recap for 21.2, we have 10 dumbbell snatches alternating, 15 burpee box jump or variation, 20 snatches alternating, 15 burpee box jumps or variation, 30 snatches alternating, 15 burpee box jumps, 40 dumbbell snatches alternating, 15 burpee box jumps, and finally 50 alternating dumbbell snatches and 15 burpee box jumps. Done, or 20 minutes hits, you mark down how many reps you got, that's your day. So this is a beast of a workout, you guys. Remember, take your time, work on good clean movement, focus on your positioning, and really enjoy this one. It's a gasser, it's challenging physically, mentally, but it's a great workout and it's gonna be a good challenge for us on the weekend. So I hope you have fun. We're gonna be rocking it here at the gym for the open, so I hope you enjoy it. Let us know how it goes. Wish those open people some good luck, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So as always, you guys have a fantastic weekend, work for quality, and have a ton of fun. Bye, you guys.